Welcome back, everybody, to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, Josh Zuniga. Today, we're going to talk about your options if you're going in foreclosure. Stay tuned. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, Josh Zuniga. I'm here with the grandiose.
Yeah, it's a good
How do I
one,
compete
right?
with that, man?
Carl
That's good.
Freund, and he's our other co-host here within the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. And today we are going to be talking about foreclosures. It's always a big topic that, especially with last year and going into this year, forbearance is going to be ending in June. Are we going to be seeing a bunch of foreclosures? And I want to give some people that options. You may know somebody in your family, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a coworker that's actually going into foreclosure and they're not talking about it and they don't even know what their options are. So I want to talk here with Carl and see exactly what are some of the options. And you and I both know, especially at the get-go, one of the most important things, especially if you're in that option of foreclosure, is that you need to preserve your credit.
Yeah, I think your number one asset is your credit, right? Because without credit, you're paying higher insurance, higher rates on credit cards. If you can even get credit cards, you're not getting car loans. You're not doing anything. Like it literally financially strangles you. Gives you no options. There's no buffer. So for me, having a buffer of credit card where if shit hits a fan and I need to pull cash out quick, I can do that. Or I can go get a personal loan, or I can go refinance a car, or I can go pull equity out of a house, or whatever it is. If you ruin your credit, you are fucked in this society.
Absolutely. Yeah. It literally leaves you crippled. Yeah. And even obviously, like trying to once you're obviously going through foreclosure, that's going to be on your credit, for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years before that falls off, and then so your ability to even purchase another home is.
You're very going to be
you're at least 4 years out,
Yeah.
right? And still you're probably paying higher rates, or you got to put a bigger down payment down, or there's some things there that are like, why would I loan to this guy if they just went into foreclosure 4 years ago? Like that's not a smart financial move for a bank, right? There's a lot of risk there.
Yeah.
So even with that, we obviously know that's one of the reasons is obviously to save your credit, but like one of the options. Anybody knows that the cat's out of the bag. Every real estate market pretty much with around the nation is doing extremely well. Mm-hmm. Phoenix is one of them. Even if we're at 20%, appreciation, we're on track to hit that again for 2021, maybe even higher than that. Yeah, but even if you're in a city that doesn't have that type of, numbers or gains, you're probably still in a great position over the last 2 years to still sell your property. So if the bank's coming after you, they're saying, hey, we need to foreclose, we're going to foreclose on you. Be smart, all right? If you have half a brain, take a look at what the real estate market is within your area, within your neighborhood. See exactly how much you owe, how much you need to pay the bank, and how much you can sell it for. I'm pretty confident, and we talked about this previously, that it guarantee that you're going to be able to pay that off, and be able to walk away, maybe even with some change, and maybe even start the free life, another life.
Look, go rent. Like just take a hit to the ego and go rent. But the important thing is, don't get late on the mortgage. And so, people don't really know this, but if your mortgage is due on the 1st, there's generally no penalty until the 15th. Now on the 16th, it's a grace period. Yeah, on the 16th we start paying some penalties and fees, usually about 5% of the payment amount. But on the 30th, the 31st technically, 31st it's late. It goes on your credit's already starting to suffer. One late payment on your credit can drop you like 60, 80 points.
Yeah, 50 to 100.
You're at a 700, now you're 620 at best, right? And then you let it go 60 days. And so what happens is most people are like, oh, I can't make the payment this month. Like I'm just going to kick the can down the road and just see what happens. Magically, hopefully, shit turns around for me. Nothing happens, right? The situation's the same because they didn't take any action. Now they're 30 days late. Now the credit's already suffering. So if you know you're going to be late, number one, sell some of your shit, go down to the pawn shop and do whatever you got to do to maintain the payment current. If you're at that point where you're like pawning stuff or selling stuff in order to make payments, you should be probably asking for a loan modification or at least a forbearance. Loan modification is probably your first priority if you can get that done, but that takes time. That could take 30, 60, 90 days, right? Yeah. And by that time, your credit's already shot anyway. You could ask for a forbearance. Now, forbearance is basically saying, hey, Wells Fargo, sorry, I can't pay this month. I'll catch you up next month, and they'll double you up for the next month. But at least they're not going to report you late, and so that's very, very important. The problem with real estate in this market is that even in a hot market, you're probably looking at 30 days to get out of a property. Maybe you can, sneak that into like 25 days if you're really good, or you can call like Open Door or one of those guys, come by your house in like 15 days if they're really quick. But if you're already 15 days late and you have no way to make up that payment and your credit's gonna suffer, You got to make moves quick, like take action. The biggest thing I can say is just take action. Be very proactive.
I'm glad that you said that, and especially forbearance is another option. So you already tapped into that. So that's another one that you guys can take advantage of, guys. And please, guys, like I said, take action when you say this. Like you need to be making moves like right away. You already know what your situation is, and you know what it's going to be in 30 days and 60 days. If it's not going to get any better, do not make yourself suffer, and don't make your family suffer even worse just because you have pride. Trust me, I've ran into a lot of individuals, some that are even close to me, that it's just a pride thing. Oh, I don't want to have foreclosure. I don't want to tell anybody that happened, or a BK, whatever the case is.
I'm a good example.
They're your example there. I was waiting for you to chime in on it.
100%.
Yeah, people don't really understand. I've started over several times.
Yes, yeah.
Several times. Like 3 times in my life where I'm literally at 0 or worse. And so understanding it'll be okay. Just take a hit to the ego and be like, hey, look, shit sucks right now, but if I take action now and face my problems and, really just do shit to make it better, that it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just protect your credit. Because when you're, out of money, out of time, and out of credit, shit gets real tough real quick. Real tough.
Yeah, we discussed another option, prior to this. We talked about lease option. Lease option is a potential one, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so you've advised a couple of clients to maybe potentially take the lease option as well.
Especially back, especially towards the latter part of 2007, when people were starting to get a little bit shaky and the market was, people were getting laid off in 2007. They were like, hey, look, I don't think I can sustain this lifestyle. I'm like, go take a lease option. Basically what it is 2 separate contracts. You have an option contract, which is the option but not the obligation to purchase the home. Then you have the lease portion of it, right? So the option could be $5,000, $10,000, probably enough to get you caught up on your mortgage, right? Then
That's up front, correct?
That's up front.
Yes, exactly. That's down.
And then the lease should be enough to at least maintain the mortgage on the house. And so the person that's living in it, the person that actually executes that lease option, has a vested interest of keeping the property up, because hopefully in the future they're going to actually purchase from you, and that's probably the best case scenario, and so you still get the tax advantages of it, you still get to write off the property tax.
Still in your name.
It's still in your name, so there's still the advantages. You still have good credit history because you're not behind on payments yet, so that might be a really, really good option. And I think if you get to that situation where you're like, hey, look, I've got to make a decision, call Josh Zuniga, by the way. Call him, and he will absolutely guide you and tell you the right things to do. He's a very, very good advisor, and he's not financially interested in making money off of this stuff. So, free advice, good, solid advice. Call Josh.
Yeah, we definitely can help you out. And there's a lot of guys and a lot of individuals that reach out to Carl and I, for simple questions like this. But those simple questions, can actually exactly. There's a lot that can actually change your life or help you put you in the trajectory to make the right decision for you and for your family. And like you said, Carl and I have, big hearts, and we always want to help people. We want to make sure everybody's on the right track because we want to see everybody do well, right?
People first and money first.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. It's a perfect example of how we operate and how we lead a heart-based business here within Arizona and within other markets as well. So guys, if you know anybody that's in foreclosure, maybe in the process, here are the options again. 1, you can sell, right? 2, you can obviously talk to your bank about loan modification, obviously, or forbearance, right? 3, you can obviously do if you're looking to sell and put it on the market, but you need a faster option.
Lease option.
Yeah, lease option. If you need an even quicker one, call Zillow, right? Talk to one of your investors, Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door. They can usually close your property inside of 2 weeks. All right. So those are some of the tips that we have for you guys. If you know anybody that needs any help, please reach out to us at any point in time. We're always happy to help you. Until next time, we'll see you on the Inside the Real Estate podcast. Take care. Love you.